really know where to start this. So I guess we can just start about how it was for me growing up, at least through my eyes. So growing up, it was always somewhat confusing and challenging for me. Um, I don't really know much of when my mom and my biological dad were together. I don't really know too much about their marriage or really anything else along those lines. I don't really know um much except that my dad did some really bad things for them to get divorced. And after they got divorced, I I remember just living with my great grandma and then skip maybe six months to a year, and we were in this apartment complex, if I remember correctly. It was something like that. Maybe like a condo or yeah, something like that. And my mom started talking to this new guy, and after that, they they got married, and we moved to a rental house. And the whole time, it was just me and my older brother. So at the time, we were maybe like, he was maybe 10, I was maybe 8. So we didn't have a good grasp of much that was kind of happening within my family. But when we were younger, we learned my cousin ended his life. And that affects me more now than it does anything, because I understand how my life would have been if he was still here, if he never decided to do that. And skipping a bit to around two-ish years ago, my stepdad and my mom finally got a place that I could finally call home after a rough batch in the start of my childhood. And after all of that, you can skip forward a couple of years. I I struggled a lot in school when I was younger due to a rare sleeping disorder I have. And it makes my life a living hell. It's nothing fun. Um, and anytime anybody asks me about it, I kind of play it off as it's something nice and fun. When it's not, it's a struggle for me to deal with, and I would constantly get picked on by kids because of it. It would lead me to not have the proper hygiene, so that made it to where I could get picked on easily, and it was a very low point in my life. Then around the middle-ish to endish of seventh grade, if I remember correctly, I I hit a snapping point because I was put under so much pressure by school that me and my mom, we had an argument, and I remember it so vividly. And it was while my stepdad was out the house doing work and whatnot. And he worked really far away. And me and her, we were just going back and forth. And I was talking about how, like, I genuinely did not believe I was going to live to the age of 14. And looking at it now, it still shocks me the fact that I hit 15. Um, and she she called my dad over, and he was never there in my life and never has been. So he decided to lie straight to my face. He told me that once he started getting all the loans and stuff like that, and get the house paid off and all of these other different things from what he did when he was younger, he would finally be a good dad like me and my brother wanted. And he would teach me how to do stuff like fixing cars and things along those lines. But he never did. He he never did. And after a while, my it was I remember it. It was last year. It was on my now little brother's half brother's birthday. Um and my brother and my stepdad, my older brother and my stepdad, they got into a really bad argument, which had to lead to police being called. And that one place I had to call home, I couldn't even call it home anymore. Couldn't even. So I had to go live with my great grandma, which is where I'm living at currently. And after that, I was still going through it in school. Um, a teacher was bullying me. I I must have been that disgusting of a human back then for even teachers to bully me. And you may be asking if the teacher got fired. No, the teacher never got fired because we never had the proper finances to take it to court. And that makes me so, so sad knowing the fact that a teacher like that could be doing that to someone in that same exact school. And after that, I became homeschooled, and I finally got what I wanted, was to be alone, was to be alone, to be in my room all day and do what I want to with my life. And all those people that I called, quote, friends at school, they never talked to me after I left. And maybe one or two reaches out every here and there, but everybody genuinely forgot about me and moved on. So I basically have no friends. The only quote friend I have is a childhood friend of mine when I lived at my mom and stepdad's rental house. But she chose her girlfriend at the time over me, and it's hard for me to forgive that. And me and her are good now. It's hard for me to forgive that, so I don't even really consider us quote best friends like we were back then. Um, my birthday when I turned 15, I literally had nobody. I had one person go to like the we kind of doing a little weird segment to where our family, we just choose one fun area to go and we can invite some friends. And I only had one friend. And that was that same childhood friend. Um and even thinking about that, it just makes me wonder where I've gone wrong in life. I'm so young and I have to deal with so much, and it's not fair. It's not. I I just simply right now want to just cut everybody off and just move to the middle of nowhere and be my own person with no friends, no connections, just be me. And after this long, my dad invited me and my brother to go bowling. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be the last chance I give this guy at being a good father. Maybe he actually wants to genuinely spend time. You know, me and my brother and my dad, just us at the bowling arena having some fun. My brother decided to bring his girlfriend at the time along and one of his friends, and I was like, okay, I mean, I'm okay with that. And I show up, and my dad brought all of his friends. Their friends brought their wife and kids, and I was alone. And my dad, he was acting like he's known me when nobody has. Anybody who says that they ever know me, they're lying because I don't even know myself. I don't even know who I am, who I wish to be. I don't know anything like that. And before we left that bowling arena or whatever you call it, me and my dad, he wanted to have a one-on-one talk about him not talking to me. And he basically, to sum it up, made me pick between him or my mom. He was telling me about when I was young and they were married, that apparently he was painting it out basically to where my mom was looking like she was cheating and whatnot, when I know she wasn't raised like that, so she wouldn't. But that made me realize that I've got no one. I I don't even trust my own family anymore after that. So I genuinely believe I'm alone, and that's my only purpose, is to be alone. And to be honest, I don't even want anything else but to be alone. I find the most comfort in it. And after that whole thing with my stepdad and my brother, I haven't exactly talked to my mom about this yet, but from what I know, they're still married. Um, and gosh, it's so like crazy to me because if my mom sees a future with my stepdad, then for the greater good of me, I'm going to have to cut her off. That's for my own good because there's only two people I would ever choose over my mom. That would be my great grandma and my brother. And what happened between my stepdad and my brother, it painted my stepdad in a very, very awful image. And I the last thing I want to do is to cut off my own mother. I don't know what I should do. I might just stay silent and see if down the line she gets a divorce with him, or if she doesn't, by the time I hit 18, I'll just move to the middle of nowhere, hopefully being a successful content creator. So I have the money to do that and cut everybody but my grandma, my great grandma, and my aunt off. I I just go live the life I want to. I go live a life without worries, without it being unfair. I go live the life I want to live. And my life has been so unfair because I haven't had anybody but me to guide me. Um, sure, I had my mom to guide me on like a decent amount of things, but even then, I have to learn everything myself. I really had to learn how to treat a woman properly myself, how to do a lot of different things myself. And I give her credit where credit's due, right? She's not a bad mom in any sense. She's one of the best moms I could ever ask for. But it's such a pain and a struggle when it comes to just everything related to her right now. I simply just want to go have a normal teenagehood, but I feel like I have to help my family with everything because my own family can't help themselves. And a good part that I forgot to leave out um was the fact that I have, as of now, no male family members in my life I can trust or look up to help me. I don't trust any of them enough to do that. And even then, most of them are dead. My uncle is dead from my mom's side. My older cousin is dead. Um, my great grandpa is dead. My younger cousin, well, technically older cousin, um, he's living with his mom, but is getting into really bad things. That I can't say on YouTube, but you could take an assumption what those are. Uh, and my brother, since he decided to live with my dad, he he started getting into some decently bad things as well. And he's trying his best to stop, so I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But I I just hate myself. The fact that I'm incapable of helping everybody with everything. It makes me feel useless. And it also doesn't help the fact that I haven't been able to find a girlfriend, anybody that I can find comfort in. That's kind of just simply not a thing for me. And I don't think it ever will be. Um, After recently of me just not talking to people, I really think I'm not meant to have a girlfriend. Not meant to find anything like that. So any type of idea I have about it now has been thrown out the window. Like maybe three-ish months ago, 2-ish months ago, I would be down to do it, to have a girlfriend because that's all I've ever wanted. But I genuinely believe at this point in time, I'm just simply unlovable enough to do that. Everybody else is finding the love of their life, and I'm just a loser. I'm just a loser who sits in his room all day, trying to make something of himself, to make anybody I can proud of me. But I don't even make myself proud. So why would anybody else be proud of me? And it's so, it's so sad, the fact that I'm probably just going to die alone. Nobody else or anything like that. And I love everybody who who actually enjoys my content enough, even if it's just the simple YouTube short series I have going on. I'm happy if somebody even cares about me enough to watch that. And when I go live every day and see 5+ people, that makes me so happy because that's people, right? That's people that decided I, as a person, am good enough for them to watch. And I just hate the fact that I believe I'm incapable of so much. If I genuinely believe that I was capable of so much more, if I didn't have all of these things going against me, I would be the happiest person and like everything anybody would want to be if I didn't have all of these things. I I love content creation. Um but sometimes even that's hard for me to do. And it's not due to me being lazy or lack of motivation or me not wanting to. It's more of due to me getting in a position to where it's like, is there any point of doing it? Even after I could be the most successful person in the world, at the end of the day, I always lie in my bed and think to myself, will it work out? Will I be a very rich, famous person that has a loving wife and kids? Will that happen? I don't know. I hope I make it in content creation. I hope I do. It's all I've ever been wanting to do since I was 7 to 8. Um, and I love it with a passion that no one can take away from me. But with how much things I have going on with family and myself, it's so hard for me to fulfill that dream of mine. Like, when I see people my age finding girlfriends, boyfriends, all that, it makes me feel like a loser. And I know at some point in time, there is probably going to be some people who like me down the road for whatever god awful reason. But I'm just going to shoot them down every single time. I genuinely believe as of now I work better solo than with anybody. And it's not anything that anybody else does, but it's just because of how I am mentally, to where I genuinely believe I'm incapable of love. I hate when people talk about how they're so happy with their girlfriend, so happy that they found the love of their life. And it's like, please, can you shut up? Genuinely, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the fact that you got everything in life handed to you and that you're flexing it. That you got good enough looks for you to find someone that you call the love of your life. I don't care to hear that. I wasn't born or lucky enough to get any of those things. And sure, I'm young and I could wait, but I've been waiting for everything in my life for too long now. I've been waiting for content creation for me to finally do good, I've been waiting for so long. I've been waiting for me to find a partner for so long. I've been waiting for all of this for so long. And I am genuinely so tired of waiting. Everybody says, well, maybe you should wait a bit longer and then it'll work. No, that's only something entitled people will say because they haven't been me. They don't know how much waiting I've done. They had to do the amount of waiting I had to do or they would go insane. And I really love what I do. And I'm not complaining in any way, shape, or form. But it's just so much for me. I I hate the fact that I'm about to have to cut off most of the people I talk to in real life due to what's happening mentally and even online. Like as of recently, I haven't been talking to much of my viewers online and stuff like that in Discord DMs and whatnot just due to where I am. All I really want to do now is cry, but I physically can't. No tears come out if I did. And to anybody who's concerned about me or thinking I'm thinking of the worst, I promise you I'm not. I've learned from my older cousin that ending your life, it never ends the pain. It only transfers it to someone new. It never ends if you take your own life. And sure, I might think my life isn't worth much, but at least to some random people on the internet, it's worth enough for them to spend their precious time on this earth to look at my content. And that baffles me. It genuinely does. Especially since I don't believe I've gotten any type of proper help that I've needed. And something that I look for now in a girl, if I were to go for one, um, or in a girlfriend or something along those lines, would be for them to be mentally okay. Because I am so out of it that if it was me with another girl that isn't mentally okay, then gosh, the worst would probably happen. But even then, that's hard to find nowadays. It's hard to find even that. And that would be my number one thing over just everything, even personality. As long as they are mentally in the right headspace, that's all I could ever care about. I want whoever I be with in the future to have an easy life or have already had an easy life. That's one of my requirements due to them not having to struggle with the same exact things I've struggled with. And I never want them to know these things that I've had to struggle with. I I don't want them to or have to experience the things I've struggled with. I I have never really had good interactions with females, either IRL or online, romantically wise. Um, and at this point, I don't even care what happens. romantic wise, at least, I don't even care because I believe I'm just a lost cause in romance. It's something that isn't for me. And that's okay. And if there is this one person that I'm going to take a guess is watching this right now, everything that I said previous applies to you. You know who you are if you're seeing this. Anyways, yeah, it's so unfortunate and so unfair that I have to deal with all this. I genuinely wish I didn't. I genuinely wish I could have the proper help, the proper love and support I wanted and needed. But that would be me asking for too much, it seems. And it's so unfair. I genuinely don't believe there's a single good thing about me. At least in general. Nothing at all. Cause every type of trait anybody can give about me, I can shoot it down instantly with something that counteracts it in a bad way. I'm sorry that this is a long video and whatnot, but this video is just kind of so y'all can get a full insight of me as a person and not something basis wise, kind of like how I did the last me video where it was just mainly about family and whatnot. This one is fully about me, what's going on in my mind. And if you've watched this far, thank you so much. I'm sorry if it's like so much. Let me know in the comments if it's like way too much. And anybody who genuinely thinks like I'm not content with who I am as a person, I am, and you don't need to worry about me. I promise. I would never do anything bad to me or others. And I will see y'all fellas in the next one. Goodbye.